Well, now the day of the tragedy, I want you to kind of detail the timeline, because you've dealt with the police chiefs and the forensic people, so you really know the timeline of exactly what happened. And I want you to tell them about that propane bomb that they had planted in the cafeteria, because a lot of people don't know about that.
Sure. Well, Harris and Klebold had actually created what they estimated was 95 explosive devices. Pipe bombs, cricket bombs, propane tank bombs. At about 11 a.m. that morning, Eric Harris walked into the school with a duffel bag, a blue duffel bag with two 20-pound propane tanks inside and a detonator. If he had been asked what it was, he would have simply said it was gym equipment or something. He went into the cafeteria of the school and placed it under a table in the middle of the room. Now, they had, in previous months, calculated carefully when the maximum number of students would be in the cafeteria. And he set the bomb to go off at 11:17 that morning, precisely the time when he estimated that over 600 students would be in the cafeteria. Then he and Eric Harris went out of the building, geared up, put on their ammo belts and their guns, and they had knives on them, and they had pipe bombs and several bags that they were carrying. And they walked up to the top of a place they called Suicide Hill, and at about 11:20, 11:21, they opened fire. Now, the bomb in the cafeteria failed to detonate.
Why do they think that? I read somewhere that they thought it was a short in a fuse.
I spoke to one of the bomb squad experts from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, who told me that a single wire in the detonator of that propane tank bomb failed. It was loose.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Because, Mary, if that bomb had exploded in that cafeteria, we would have not lost just 13 students. We would have likely lost 500 plus lives, because it would have completely devastated that cafeteria and killed likely everybody in it.
Well, and in the propane bomb, didn't they also have like nails and different type of almost shrapnel that would have went all over the place? And
sure. They built some very vicious bombs. Very vicious. The pipe bombs themselves scattered shrapnel in every direction. I mean, they were terrible.
And so when the bomb didn't blow off, then what did they do? They were counting down the minutes, and when it didn't blow at 11:17, they were moved into their second phase?
Right. They were waiting for the bomb to go off because their original plan, according to their own diaries, was to stand outside the school and wait for the bomb to explode and then shoot kids as they were running out of the burning building in all of the confusion. When the bomb didn't explode, they decided to go ahead and open fire. And Rachel and her friend Richard Castaldo were the first two students to actually be hit by gunfire as they were sitting outside the school eating their lunch. And then after Rachel and Richard were hit and down on the ground, then they opened fire on the other students that were standing around outside, kind of in a daze and in confusion, and they killed several students.
Now, I want to go over that part with Rachel. So Richard was hit first, and then Rachel was hit 3 times.
That's right.
And then, as I understand, she was moving and trying to get away, crawl away, and that's when Eric came up to her. And exactly what did he say to Rachel?
Well, according to Richard Castaldo's report to his mother, just as he was being brought into the trauma center at the hospital, Eric Harris walked over to Rachel, mocked her vulgarly about her faith in Jesus, laughed at her wounds. And then he grabbed her by her hair, pulled her head up, and he said, "Where is your God now? Do you still believe in him?" And according to Richard's report, Rachel looked up and said, "You know that I love Jesus." And he put the gun to her head, and he said, "Then go and be with him now." And he shot her. And that was the fatal shot.